We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Titans. Probably the last video I'm going to make on this game. Don't want to go over it too much. Just get both sides of the ball done. I think overall, if you look at it just like from the whole game perspective, the defense wasn't playing that bad. They actually had a pretty good game early on, but they just absolutely collapsed at the end of the game. I don't really there was some bad execution. Didn't love the play calling as well. Just a lot of things that could have been a lot better from everyone. There's no specific player to blame. I do think, or even specific coaches as well. I think would have liked to see Fangio do some better stuff as well. And then if you look at some specific players that I think stood out, I would say David Long played a pretty good game. Got to give him some credit. Wilkins and Sealer were pretty solid overall as well. Sealer had that big pick six. Wilkins had a sack. Other than that, they weren't, terrible out there. Great play by Sealer. Long was very good versus the run. The whole defense played good versus the run pretty much the whole game, so that's another credit out there. And they were getting some pressure, and I know the edge defenders got some heat for this game. Bradley Chubb made a really stupid mistake, and he's got to be better than that. And overall, I think just looking at the team from a whole perspective, the edges were getting chipped the entire time. I think communication on the back end was a huge thing for this team. There were so many missed opportunities, so much big plays allowed that just shouldn't be allowed to happen. Howard probably had an opportunity to have 5 interceptions in this game and didn't come away with any of them, which is crazy. I thought Ramsey didn't play a great game. Coe didn't play a great game. The safety play was not very good all around. Actually, the linebacker play was probably the most solid thing about the game. They weren't perfect either, but I think the defense down the stretch has to bounce back. I'm not ready to, say they're just a bad group now. They've been amazing for weeks, playing at a super high level, and in just the last few minutes is really where they just fell apart now. I think they kind of have to carry this team with how many injuries they have on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. I think the offense is going to be the most affected by it. I think the defense has to really step up down the stretch, especially in this next Jets game. They got to show up, different quarterback, and do exactly what they did the first time to win this game pretty convincingly, because I think it's so important for the rest of the season's success to just coming out, putting the Jets away, and then you feel a lot more comfortable, and then you just got to, then you have your real matches that go into the playoffs that will feel like some playoff games. So we'll go through the rest, break down some plays, and really see where things went wrong for this team. Got to show this play just for later on, because I feel like this play actually sets up things. They went in empty a lot, and we're giving this Hopkins play where he just sort of sits down in between the defenders to the cover 2 side of cover 6, playing quarters at the top, cover 2 up here. Howard tries to jump it. He does a good job just turning this around. They're basically bracketing him with how they end up kind of playing this. And this becomes important later on because Ramsey has a similar play where he tries to jump that, and he gives up a 2nd and 15 where they throw it to the running back. He didn't respect that. They just kept trying to go for these huge plays. And I understand in certain situations, but the context of, down distance where they are on the field, you can't be taking those risks in those situations. But yeah, just got to show this play for a later on setup. Game started, decently. Long had some good run stops. Zach Sealer had the interception for a touchdown. Christian Wilkins, I don't think play ended up showing, but he had a nice sack, which was helped set up by Sealer. All going really well. But then things for the rest of the game were a little up and down. Certain drives weren't great. Certain drives were great. And then the end of the game was where they really fell apart. One area they really struggled was 3rd and mediums, 3rd and longs, just to get off the field. They really just struggled on 3rd down to get off the field for a decent stretch of the game. They had I think, really early they were getting them off the field, but then they hit a point in this game where it just wasn't getting easier for them, and something they're usually really good at. And I think a big part of that was they would have wide receivers, tight ends, they aligned tight like this, so they could get hands or to slow, even just with their alignment, they slow down Van Ginkel and Chubb quickly. They were getting extra help on these guys all game long. Look at that. They both get hands on Van Ginkel and Chubb. Van Ginkel has the running back working to his side as well to get a chip, so he has a 3-on-1. The receiver straight up trying to block Chubb. They go to the inside. They still even get some pressure on him. And then Tajay Spears, who had a pretty good game, comes in open underneath. Just miscommunications. Again, not really miscommunication. I think Coe just gains too much depth. Riley ends up taking the other dropper here because look at the coverage here. They're both like hook defenders, Kohu and Riley. And this is 3rd and 7. And look how much depth Kohu gains compared to Riley. Riley's coming down. He's going to take the running back, but he sees this receiver working across, so he takes that. Kohu gains a bunch of depth. And Kohu's in a tough spot here as well. Like, he's gaining this much depth to help take away the dig route. He's actually in a good spot to take away this dig route, but he gains so much, it just allows this underneath. They got to get that pressure there, but they do a good job with their chipping, and that's kind of what they did all game long to really slow down the edges. And that's why they still had a lot of time. Even though Chubb was getting some pressures, they just didn't finish. They were getting destroyed by the play action, deep drop, max protect, basically 2 routes down the field where they had one guy running the clear out and then one guy, running a deeper cross. And it was either, this one specifically, there's one later on that really cost them. This one specifically, I think, Ramsey's supposed to be playing a tight 1/3. He does not play this tight enough. He just allows this to go open over the middle. He probably expects some inside help there from Deshaun Elliott, but they both got to, play this a little bit better to help squeeze this. This was just too wide open, and they just had too many opportunities like this all game long. This was another game-changing play. Will Levis escaping the pocket, and Bradley Chubb misses the sack. He ends up timing it up perfectly. They get the stunt exactly how they want it, and he just misses the sack. Ramsey come down and makes a big tackle, which is important. And Chubb shows great hustle there, which I got to respect. But him tossing his helmet there, which it doesn't show from the all-22 angle. And I like how they set this up. With the people they have 3 people on this side of the line. It just draws more attention with their eyes here, and then Chubb's able to loop in. And he's just got to finish the sack. He just takes a poor aiming point. He just gets a little too high right here, and Levis is able to slip underneath it. And I love the effort to get up and go and, help make a play down the field and tackle him. He's just got to control his emotions here, because this ends up being a 4-point swing, because they would have to kick a field goal there. They still have to make the field goal too, but they also didn't give up a touchdown after this because of the penalty. So they give that touchdown, just a 1-yard rusher to Henry. Then right before half, they looked slow again. The Dolphins offense wasn't able to get anything going, but then they let the Titans just go right down the field in 2 minutes. They even get big pressure again. Chubb gets another big hit pretty quickly, and these are the types of plays where you got to turn these into turnovers when you get stuff like this. You get the exact look they want. Chubb comes around, he hits him. Howard's even gaining depth. They're playing cover 2 to this side of the field. He's over the top. Levis throws an absolute dot to Henry. Got to give him some credit here. But this is another area where I feel like if Howard is a step further, he probably ends up taking this away. Just so many missed opportunities, so many big plays like this, and they end up giving them this points on this drive when there was not much time left on the clock. So many game-changing plays. Howard versus Hopkins, 1-on-1 at the top. They're playing some cover 3 here. He ends up getting a 1-on-1, and he actually would have probably made the play on that ball. Just another area where Howard had an opportunity for a pick. This one I wouldn't blame on him, because this was clear offensive PI. If you watch the thing, he gets pulled down to the ground while he's in midair. Pretty unfortunate. As you can see, what they're doing again, chipping Chubb. They have the running back help on Van Ginkel. I know people were trying to say they were non-existent. They were getting double-teamed pretty much every single play. Got to be just better coverage on the back end. If these guys are going to be helping block, you got to, there's not as many people running routes. Those guys are going to be check downs underneath later. You got to have more guys helping take away these deep options if that's going to be the case. And, it was clear offensive PI. He pulled him to the ground, and then it ended up they almost scored a touchdown off this, but they ended up getting field goal points, just more points that should have never happened for this team. Just more little third down conversions they kept getting. Now they kept getting the matchups exactly what they want. They're playing match coverage across the board, and they get Tajay Spears, a running back, matched up on Duke Riley. Tajay Spears is a good receiving back. You get a matchup on a linebacker, he's going to win that all day long. It's just easy for them. The ball comes out quick. They're chipping Van Ginkel again. Just these plays were happening far too often. I feel like, that was more of a coaching difference there. 3rd and 5. Again, they run a toss play out to this side. The DBs have a bunch of depth. They motion this tight end in here a little bit. It brings Long in, and I think he's just about to run blitz downhill, and that catches that perfectly off guard, and Spears, they get another 3rd down conversion, another 3rd and 5. It was just too many of these too often. They get the crack back on Chubb. The linebackers tried to get there, but their first steps were just in the wrong direction. They get caught out of position again. Way too many third down conversions compared to what they usually give up. And here's why I showed that Hopkins play earlier. Ramsey sees this, the exact, empty look. Hopkins to the 2 receiver side. He's ready to jump this. He's reading Levis's eyes. He sees him get a quick drop. He's ready to break the whole way. And he's not respecting that this is Derrick Henry. He's like, he's not going to throw this. So he jumps. Hopkins ends up breaking to the inside. He also gets his matchup with Long this time instead of Kohu, so he ends up falling. Probably going to throw it into both either way, and it still would have been work. And then he ends up throwing it to Henry. And this is a 2nd and 15 situation. At this part of the field, you just got to play smart football. Let them throw it to Henry. Let, the linebackers get there. Let them gain 8 yards. It's better than them picking up a first down on a throw to Derrick Henry that should never be allowed. Then the Titans get another huge 3rd down conversion to Tajay Spears. They throw a ball down to him down in the seam. Dolphins are playing cover 3. Elliott gets beat here. Should be matched up versus this guy. Even, Hopkins is open over the middle. Everything, they get the exact look they want. Like, your safeties can't be getting beat like this down the seam. That's where they want to attack with this ball. They catch it. Howard has another opportunity to get an almost interception. He responds to this. He tries to go for the pick. He probably should just go for the swat, because then the guy ends up catching it because he's just trying to catch it. And then Jones, makes actually a great play and knocks the ball out. But another time where the ball just goes out of bounds. I feel like the Dolphins never recover those where the ball is like near out of bounds like that. It always goes out of bounds every single time. But yeah, look at this. Howard has the chance for the interception. Just knock the ball out. It's 3rd and 6. Like, it's such a smarter play. He had so many opportunities that he just missed on that, and those little things end up making the difference because, it's a 7 or a 4-point swing, and it also could have been a 0-point swing, but it goes out of bounds. And they were getting very unlucky all game, and then at the end, they got blessed with a free 14 points and then threw it. Here's the play they end up getting blessed. I don't even know what the Titans are doing here. They're running like triple option, but they're faking to Spears, and then Henry's the pitch guy. First of all, it wouldn't have worked either way. The Dolphins actually played it really nice. Chubb and Long both would have been there to slow that down. And then they get blessed that it's a bad pitch and doesn't catch it, and then they get the fumble and they score. This was right after they also stopped them for the punt. Yeah, just super fortunate. And then this is where the collapse starts to happen. Here's a missed opportunity on like the first drive that they had to when they were down 14. They actually get a nice hit on Chubb, hits his arm. It almost ends up being a Kohu interception. Just missed opportunities like this where they had a chance. If that interception out, the game's just over right away. They would have to use all their 3 timeouts, would have still scored twice. Just when you get those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. I also don't like how they went pretty conservative. They never really brought any pressure. Just kept bringing 4 with how much they were. This is a screen, so I'm not saying it here specifically, but they have the guys gaining so much depth here underneath. They only really have one guy who can try to make a play here, and it's Duke Riley. It's a tough ask in that situation for him to, beat multiple offensive linemen to cover the running back, and Spears has all this room to work with. They just went down the field way too easily, picked up too many big chunk plays on these final 2 drives. Another example of them just picking up chunk plays. They hit the corner route to Nick Westbrook-Akine. Yeah, Dolphins kind of struggled with this. In cover 6, it's been an area this corner just gained so much depth. The safety's got to be able to match this. You can't really have this linebacker underneath trying to stay on this. I think that's Elijah Campbell, and he's just late. They had injuries at the safety position. Elliott wasn't playing particularly well in this game anyways, but he ended up getting a concussion. Brandon Jones had some decent plays, actually, on the back end, but also it wasn't a great game from him overall. They definitely miss Holland. They need Holland there on communication. I think even when they've been really good this season, the Dolphins, I was actually going to make a video about their communication problems, specifically down in the red zone, because I think that's been an issue for them. Even when Ramsey's been back, they've had communication issues down there, but now in this game it showed up at pretty much every level of the field. Then here's the Hopkins touchdown. They actually communicate pretty well here to pass this off Howard and Kohu, but they just allow Levis to escape the pocket, and then when you have that much time, someone's going to come open eventually. They got to get some better pressure there. I feel like people were just gassed late on in this game, and then they get that touchdown. And then the 2-point conversion is another game-changing play. If they don't get the 2-point, they literally couldn't win. They would have had to go for 2 again and just to tie it up. So this is a huge play in this game. This is how you win. They're down 14, and it's just a miscommunication. To me, this miscommunication is on Howard. They literally just passed this off the play before, and Ko sees, okay, I'm going to take Hopkins. I don't know what Howard's thinking. He just lets him go straight into the flat. That is, to me, clearly an X problem on that one. They've had this all season long with, I think X and Ko really struggled in this game. Then the next drive, here's the first, big play that they had just to get right down the field right away. Another communication. Dolphins are in cover 3. Ramsey's trying to communicate right away that Hopkins is breaking to the inside, and Ko is usually matched up on the number 2 here, right? But once the 2 breaks over here, he knows he should be able to pass this off. He has help with this safety, this linebacker. He should come off of it and help take away this inside throw, or Brandon Jones needs to break on it. They either both have to stick with it, or Jones breaks on this to help. Ramsey should probably be playing this a little bit tighter, but he thinks he has inside help, and they see it late, and Hopkins just comes in wide open, and they pick up, basically 40 yards on the first play. They didn't really bring any pressure. Just want to mention that again. And then I'm just showing this play because they called defensive delay of game on a shift. I don't even know what the heck this is, man. Does this really matter? Probably not. They probably would have scored either way. It probably even helped the Dolphins get a little more time on the clock for their offensive drive. But does this... what the heck? It should have been a false start, which actually would have given them a chance to stop them. But, the Dolphins beat themselves. It's not like saying... I'm not saying the refs, help them lose, but I've never seen anything like this. And then here's last play. I'm gonna break down. I'm gonna really break down. It's just a run into the end zone. People lose some contain. I don't even mind at this point. This play doesn't even bother. I'm not even I don't even mind that they score here because with where they're at on the field, they're most likely gonna score anyways. It's 2nd and 1. They're probably gonna get 1 yard and get another set of downs. Too many plays to score down near the goal line. I'd rather have them score right away with how quickly they got down the field, just to give your offensive chance. But just all the other plays to let them get down there. They had to do so much just to throw this game away. It's actually insane. Now, this next game, so important to the bounce back. They got to win against the Jets. They beat the Jets. I feel pretty good about this because then they would have 10 wins. 10 wins would most likely, I would say, very high chance of getting you at least a wild card spot, which at this point, I want to win the division, but these next few games really don't even matter for the division. They matter, but the Bills game is probably what's really going to matter because they'll probably only lose 1. And they can win the division at any point by winning any of those final 3 games, the tough ones. So that's where I'm looking at for the division. The Jets game is just important just for playoff purposes, just to get in there. Just secure that, spot in the wild card, and it helps, basically forget the Titans game and build momentum going into the final 3 games, which are a very tough game to stretch. And then you probably win any of those final 3 games, and then you win the division as well, which is also very important because at least you would get a home playoff game. And then if they win out, maybe they, win out. And then if they won out, I think they would get the first seed, which would be great as well. But at this point, I just want to just look ahead straight to the Jets game. Don't look ahead for the final 3. The Jets game is here right now. It's very, very important. They just played a great game versus Texans. Zach Wilson actually looked pretty good. It's very important that they step up. I know they have some injuries, but they're still a better team. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.